Time now for everybody's favorite guessing game, What's My Line? Brought to you by Remington Rand, makers of the world's #1 electric shaver, the Remington. Now, let's all play What's My Line?
And now, let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in the New York Journal-American and papers coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And it's a pleasure to welcome back again to What's My Line one of the most amusing and charming young men in television, Robert Q. Lewis.
Thank you, Dorothy. Thank you. To my left sits a young lady who is anxiously awaiting a happy event. Mr. Martin Gable, her husband, opens his new production, The Reclining Figure, on Broadway next Thursday. Arlene Francis.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you, Robert. And on my left, a gentleman who has just published for Random House one of the funniest books I've ever read, called No Time for Sergeants. Absolutely hilarious, and so is he, Mr. Bennett, Cerf.
Very nice. What's that gimmick on your head, Arlene?
It's a hat. I'm favoring the milliners of America tonight.
Oh, I see. Well, on my left is our multimillionaire news analyst and panel moderator, that assiduous bon vivant, Mr. John Charles Daly.
Multi-what?
Millionaire.
Oh. Good evening. Welcome to What's My Line? Well, once again tonight, we're going to get up to trying to puzzle the panel with some occupations. We've got some very nice people. I think we have some fascinating and at the same time difficult occupations for them to work with. And we hope the folks who come up here have some fun, carry home a small prize. But the first thing to do is to let a challenger who's going to give the experts some trouble come out. So will you sign in, please, sir? Edward. Edward Montague, is that right, sir? That's a fine name. If I remember my English history, it has almost royal connotations, sir.
I think so.
Well, good for you. Where are you from?
San Francisco.
San Francisco. Well, it's wonderful to have somebody from the West Coast come all the way east to play games with us. Would you take a look at the panel? I'm in a capricious mood tonight, and I think we'll just let them get a look at you, and you come on over here and sit down with me, will you? All right, Mr. Montague, the panel's had a quick look at you. They've seen that firm and bold handwriting, and they know your last and your first names and heard your voice. We'll let them have one free guess as to what your line may be. We'll begin the free guesses with Miss Kilgallen.
I think he's a baseball umpire.
A baseball umpire, Mr. Lewis.
Being from San Francisco, I would say that he was a Mollyopolist.
Thank you.
A multi-who?
A Mollyopolist.
Oh,
John.
pardon me. Miss Francis.
I think Mr. Montague looks like a fatherly type. I think he manufactures baby carriages.
Mr. Cerf.
I think Mr. Montague feuds with the Capulets out in San Francisco.
Well, we have some interesting answers, but nobody has it right, so we'll let our viewers have a further look at Mr. Edward Montague from San Francisco, and at the same time... At the same time, we'll let the folks at home know what your line is, but the panel's got to dig. You know how we score this thing, Mr. Montague?
No, I don't.
You give them a no answer, and I flip a card. And when we flip 10 of these cards, you've got them right where you want them. You all set?
All set.
All right, Mr. Montague is salaried. Let's begin the general questioning with Bennett, sir.
The first thing I'd like to ask is, what was that thing that Bob Lewis guessed that Mr. Montague was?
A Malopolis.
Dictionary, Bennett. You published one.
The American College Dictionary ought to have that word.
Mollyopolist. Bennett.
Mollyopolis.
Mollyopolist.
Everybody knows what that is.
Oh, everybody knows what that is. Except me. Well, Mr. Montague, do you know what that is?
No, I don't.
Well, that's not a no for me. Is there a product involved in what you do, Mr. Montague?
No.
No, I don't think we can call that a product. 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Then you deal in services, Mr. Montague.
Yes.
Are your services enjoyed by both men and women?
Yes.
Do you deal directly, however? Are you inclined to deal directly more with one sex than the other?
Yes.
Well, now you're outdoorsy looking. You have a nice tan. Do you work out of doors?
Yes.
Do you have anything to do with any sport?
Yes.
Is it a seasonal sport?
Yes.
Well, is it or was it recently in season?
Yes.
Or is it baseball?
Yes.
You have something to do with baseball. But you're not an umpire.
No.
Yes, he is not an umpire, no.
Are you out on the field when they're playing?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Lewis.
Well, Dusty, changing your name won't help. You are not a player. You're not an active participant in the sport of baseball.
No.
Yes, you are not. No, I
Yes.
hope. Do you have anything to do with the physical stadium in which the game is played?
No.
That makes it 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
Do you have anything to do with coaching, Mr. Montague?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Montague, are you one of these seers who pontificate in the newspapers or somewhere, experting on baseball?
For heaven's sakes, Bennett. I was afraid you were going to ask that
No.
question. No.
No.
5 down and 5 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, are you connected with players directly? You meet and talk to the players?
Yes.
Do you work in something other than the sort of suit you're wearing now?
We better have a conference. Question is, does he work in something other than the suit that he's wearing now? I mean, the kind of garb he's wearing now.
No, huh?
That's right.
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Lewis.
When these, do you perform some service which makes these ball players happier after they leave you?
Yes.
Is it? Do they ever? Do you ever work on them when they're in a horizontal position?
Not that beautiful suit.
7 down and 3 to go, Miss Francis. This is wonderful.
Are you in the park for every game that is played that you are connected with? Would you be in the park someplace?
Yes.
Would you have anything to do with scorekeeping?
No.
No.
No. 8 down and 2
He
to go,
pays
Mr.
them
Cerf.
if he makes them
Mr.
happy.
Mr. Montague, have you got anything to do with an executive position of, let's say, the San Francisco Seals, paying out money or being the head of the club or some officer of the club?
Well, that covers a pretty large area, doesn't it?
Certainly
But you still get the no. Isn't that wonderful?
Doesn't cover any of that.
9 down and 1 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, were you connected with the recent series?
Well, there was a connection, yes, tenuous to be sure it might be considered, but there is a connection with the recent series.
Well, are you connected with more than one ball club?
No.
That makes it 10 down and no more to go, and I would like you to meet the gentleman who discovered with the Birmingham Barons a player in the recent series named Willie Mays, because he's a baseball scout. I must say, Mr. Montague, after this last series, since you were the man who went down and discovered Willie Mays with the Birmingham Barons, you must be just full of pride.
I am very much.
What a ball player. What a ball player. I think all of us who have any interest in baseball must admit Willie Mays had as much to do with the Giants' victory as any man that's walking the globe today.
John, what club is Mr. Montague connected with now?
The New York Giants.
Well, get us another Mays.
Quite a good instruction. Well, you cleaned them out, and congratulations, Mr. Montague. I hope also you had some fun. It was nice having you with us on What's My Line. Good to see you. All right, panel. Let's give you another chance. See what you can do with another challenger. Would you sign in, please, ma'am? Helen Craig, is that right? I want to congratulate you. I could never write my name so it could be read so easily.
Thank you.
Well, you nervous?
Little.
Well, I tell you, we used to have a business about walking down, meet the panel thing, but I'm not going to do it now, so I want you to take a good look at the panel, so let the panel get a look at you. Nice-looking foursome, don't you think? Well, don't you?
Sure do.
Sure. Well, come on over and sit down with me. Now, when you're all comfortable, we will let them have one free guess as to what your line may be. We'll begin the free guesses with Miss Kilgallen.
I think Miss Craig designs bridal gowns.
Mr. Lewis.
I think Miss Craig is probably one of the few lady Mollyopolists extant.
Now I know what it means.
Miss Francis.
I think Miss Craig trains horses. Seems far-fetched.
Mr. Cerf.
John, is there any particular reason why you neglected to tell us where Miss Craig came from?
Oh, not at all. Would you like to tell them where you come from?
Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma City. Why,
That changes it, huh?
Why, she's just the room clerk at the Skirvin Towers Hotel.
No, I'm afraid not. You've got interesting answers all the time, panel, but you're not on top of this one as yet, so we'll let our viewers have a further look at Miss Helen Craig, and at the same time, we'll tell them what her line is. Miss Craig, do you know how we score this?
Just a little bit about it, not too much.
Good thing you don't have my nervous system. One card goes over every time you can say no to them. You all set?
All set.
All right, Miss Craig is all set. Miss Craig is salaried, and we will begin the general questioning with Mr. Lewis.
Good evening, Miss Craig. May I call you Helen?
Yes.
Thank you. You may call me QZ if you like. Miss Craig, why I should ask this, I don't know, but is it possible that men would do the same type of work you do?
Yes.
Is it possible that after some instruction I might be able to do that kind of work?
Yes.
Possible.
Do you ever use part of your body? Do you ever use your body in the work in which you do?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Would that be below the waist? Your feet?
Yes.
Feet. Is there ever any music being played at the place in which you work?
Yes.
And do you ever work with a partner of some sort?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to follow this along. Do you and your partner ever go round and round together?
Yes.
We'll have to have a conference. I'm sorry. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we just wanted to be sure. You know, I don't want to mislead you, nor
I'm
does
afraid
Miss
you have
Craig.
a little bit. Well, is this the kind of a performance where your partner might ever take you and put you up in the air?
Yes.
I'm always looking for new things to do. If I completed a course at Arthur Murray's, might I get into the act with you, do you think?
I mean, would you be trained to get into the act, Mr. Murray?
Yes.
What? You get a no on that one. No, I must say that a course of training at Arthur Murray's would not prepare you for this particular gambit that Miss Craig indulges in. That's 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Would this partner of yours, Miss Craig, be more likely to be on 4 feet than 2 feet?
Yes.
What is this partner, therefore, an animal?
Yes.
Naturally, what else has 4 feet? You should see my Uncle Max.
You should look at me.
This partner that you have, do you ride this partner?
Yes.
Is this partner a horse?
Yes.
No, you can't learn that at Arthur Murray. Would you have something to do with the riding of horses to music at a place that might be considered a rodeo or a circus or something like that?
Yes.
Well, would it be the rodeo?
Yes.
You are a performer here that is about to open. Has opened already this last week at the rodeo?
Not this particular one.
But
You do ride a horse and the horse goes round and round?
Yeah, but you got on this rodeo, you know, and that was a no to that one. So I'm awfully sorry. Not this rodeo. Other rodeos?
Do you think that's quite cricket, old boy? Well, the girl is on a horse, let's face it.
Not cricket, but baseball. 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Miss Craig, do you ever ride on a horse that might be a little bit unruly and bucks a bit?
Yes.
You're a bronco-busting gal.
A bronco? Miss Arlene, I must congratulate you. You were awfully close. I hope you will agree that bronc busting is not quite training horses. That's why I didn't give you
I'll be happy to agree, John.
Thank you, dear Miss
What can
Francis.
I do?
Awfully nice of you. And there are not enough cards flipped over here because you've come all the way from Oklahoma City. So we flipped some more cards and hope you had fun. It's nice to have you with us. Good to have you in What's My Line. Good night. Good to see you. And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity. My friends have blindfolds for this. Are they all in place, panel?
Yes, John.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? As you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we get right down to the general questioning, which we will begin with Miss Arlene Francis.
Thank you. Are you part of the entertainment world?
Yep.
Are you a performer?
Uh-huh.
A happy one. Have you performed in pictures?
Sort of.
What was that again?
Yes, I have.
You have?
Uh-huh.
Oh, go on. Have you ever performed in television?
Uh-huh.
Was that yes?
Yeah.
The dubious one. Are you known to the public through a program that is seen regularly on television?
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Well, then, is it fair to say that your principal fame has been gained in Hollywood?
That's right.
Do you play the part of a virile young leading man in the pictures that you appear in?
Without trying to sound immodest, I suppose so.
Would you be considered a Bobby Sox's delight? John, better answer that one for you.
I will answer it gladly, and I think recent record would demonstrate that this is true beyond a peradventure of doubt.
John, being a Bobby Soxer, knows exactly
Yes.
what he's saying.
Thank you, Miss Francis.
Have you starred ever in a picture that has been shot in the past year in CinemaScope? A process patented by 20th Century Fox.
With an assist from Random House.
Or don't you know?
Yeah, we're examining this issue.
Well, say, yes, I suppose I have.
Would that be a picture that is playing at the present time or is about to open at one of the big Broadway show houses?
No, that's not it.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Awfully good.
What was the no to?
The no was to the specific question as to whether the CinemaScope production had been or was now on Broadway or was about to open on Broadway, and the answer to it was no.
Are you sort of one of those lock over the forehead type boys now?
Not exactly, lady. No, not exactly.
That hardly narrows it down much.
3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Lewis.
Just a moment, Did you recently, sir, return from abroad?
No, I didn't do that.
That's 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
Do you play leading men as opposed to the way you've been sounding?
I'll have to answer that question, yes, lady.
You usually get the girl.
Uh-huh.
Nice for you, isn't it? Are you connected with any one particular studio in California as opposed to being a freelance player?
That's right.
And is that studio one of the major studios? Paramount, 20th, Metro? Warner Brothers, thank you.
We like to think so.
Is it one of the four I just mentioned?
No.
5 down and 5 to go, Mr.
Well, I
Cerf.
must say you do sound like a Walt Disney character.
You eliminated Warner Brothers, MGM, Paramount,
And 20th.
20th. How about Universal International?
Good God, he's got me.
I take it you're not Bill Getz himself. Who the dickens works for Universal? Have you ever played in these Western pictures that call for a lot of horseback riding?
Sorta. Yes, I have.
Gosh. I pass.
All right, it's
Riding
still 5
horseback.
down and 5 to go, and Miss Dorothy Kilgallen, you're up on the pass.
I think I'm going to fan out very quickly. Do you do other types besides Western?
Yes, of course I do, lady. Yes, I do.
Do you ever play comedy?
No.
Light comedy, that is.
I have not.
No comedy. That makes it 6 down and 4 to go. Mr. Lewis, we have only about 3.5 minutes to go, panel.
Universal International is what's stumping me. I'm not too familiar with which star is where. Have you made a major production which I might have seen on Broadway in the past year?
Yes.
And in that production, did you play a Western role?
No.
That makes it 7 down and 3 to go, and you're tied in knots, aren't you, Miss
We're
Francis?
in terrible shape. Well, let's find out what color you are. Do you have blonde hair?
Nope.
No, that
Well, I
ain't
found
blonde.
that out.
That's not blonde at all. That's 8 down and 2 to go, Mr. Cerf. Looks like Lewis has got himself a weenie, as Dorothy calls it.
I've had a thought wave. Are you married?
That's a difficult question to answer. Just a minute.
Have you been married?
Yes.
We've seen a bit of publicity about your domestic affairs from time to time in the paper, have we not?
Could be.
Could you possibly be Mr. Jeff Chandler?
I could be.
That's right. Jeff says he ran out of voices. Yes, Bob.
John, please forgive me for interrupting you, but you know, you gave it away, and I just realized it when Bennett got out. You said something about a record that indicated that Mr. Chandler was a Bobby Sox favorite, and he did make a recording not too long ago which found great favor among the Bobby Soxers.
Well, he's got another...
like to think so.
He's got another distinction, though, that I must say I would like to put on the table as of paramount importance. This is a Giant fan.
Oh, bless you.
In fact, Jeff is so much of a Giant fan that he came east to go to watch the series games, and you sang the Star-Spangled Banner before the 4th game in Cleveland.
That's
didn't you?
right.
That is probably why we won the 4th game in Cleveland, and this is not to antagonize anybody in Cleveland, but...
Please, no. I've got a lot of friends in Cleveland. And, is it all right to say good night to my 2 little girls who are watching?
It sure is.
Good night, Jamie and Dana. I'm so nervous I can't even say their names right. Good night.
Well, Jeff, I hope you had a lot of fun, because we had a lot of fun. I
Go
must
to
say...
bed, you hear?
Go to bed. You hear what the man said? Thanks very much for being our
Thank
guest.
you,
It's
Charlie.
good to have seen you. Would you say goodbye to the panel, please?
Thank you.
At one point, I'd like to explain, we gave you a yes on the CinemaScope because Jeff has made a CinemaScope picture, which is not yet scheduled for specific release dates, so that we could say yes to you and still trip you up on the issue of whether it had played on Broadway or was about to play on Broadway, etc. No, I'm just afraid somebody
no, but
might
about
argue.
that girl that rode the horse.
With a word to Brother Lewis that we want to know what a Milliopolopoulos is, it's time to say good night. So until next week, this is John Daly saying good night, Dorothy.
Good night, John, and come again soon, Bob. Good night.
Thank you, Dorothy. I don't think I should tell you. You weren't very helpful to me. A Mollyopolist is...
Nothing.
Good night, Arlene.
That's what it is. Good night, Bennett.
He doesn't know himself. Good night, John.
Nobody knows. It's nothing. Right, Robert?
Right.
All right, fine. Good night, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production. In association with the CBS Television Network, Jeff Chandler will soon be seen in Sign of the Pagan.